Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is the Sunday gardening question and answer video that I have been doing for a while now. The first Sunday of every month I do Subscriber Sunday, where subscribers send in photos. That will actually be next Sunday. The rest of the Sundays I'm doing question and answer videos, and you can ask questions down at the bottom of this video, but you can also make any comment at the bottom of this video and be entered to win a pair of Corona Pruners. And you can also go over to my Instagram page and make a comment there on a post that I'm doing this morning, and be entered there as well. So 2 pairs will be given away 2 Sundays from now. So I'll do the Subscriber Sunday video next week, and then that next Sunday when I get back to question and answer videos, I'll do a drawing from Instagram and a drawing from YouTube, and pick winners for the Corona Pruners. Thanks to Corona, these Corona hedge clippers and pruners and saws and everything. If you've watched my videos for a long time, I've pretty much always just used Corona tools since through the nursery business, my landscape business, so on and so forth. Thank you very much to them for participating in the channel. They've done several giveaways over time on the channel. These question and answer videos I have actually put into a playlist on the channel. I haven't mentioned this, but if you're interested in just going back and looking at some more of these question and answer videos that I've done over the course of the history of this channel, they are in one playlist. I'll link that down at the bottom. The other thing I'll link down at the bottom is the pair of pruners that are actually being given away, so you can take a look at those on Amazon and get excited about them. But like I say, just make a comment down below. It could be a question that'll enter you as well, and I will try to get to your question in the next question and answer video. But any comment will suffice. It doesn't matter. Your videos are terrible. Your videos are whatever. I don't care. It makes no difference. So let's get to some questions from this week. Somebody asked me about an autumn clematis that was coming up in their rhododendron, and they were thinking about keeping it or moving it or whatever. Autumn clematis is a little white flowering star-shaped looking clematis. It usually blooms toward late summer, early fall. It blooms super early this year. I saw them in July blooming. It's kind of semi-invasive, so you know that's one of those plants that I recommend some caution with. If you're in zone 7 where I'm at, it usually doesn't get too out of control. They do come up from seed, and I see them this time of year, you know, where they kind of disappear into everything, and then once they start flowering, I go, oh man, those things are everywhere. So they are kind of, like I say, semi-invasive, so be careful with it. You could probably move it whenever. I would not let it grow into a shrub or through a shrub I already had. It will do some damage to it for sure. Somebody asked me about what soil test kit, a recommendation. I'll link one at the bottom. When I go to the new house, I'm going to be doing some soil testing. I mentioned it in last week's video. And I've already purchased several soil test kits because I want to compare them. I want to do a video comparing them. And I'm also sending it to my state lab. And we'll do a comparison between them. But one of the ones that I'm using that's pretty highly recommended on Amazon, I'll link down below. Somebody asked me, they had gotten a soil test done and wanted to know if potassium, how important potassium was, because that was something that was lacking on their soil test. And potassium plays a lot of roles in plants, but one of the main things it does is it actually regulates the stomata in the leaf surface. So leaves actually breathe. They have small little holes that you can't see that open and close, and potassium plays a big role in controlling that. And the reason they open and close is because leaves breathe, and so they have to bring in CO2, where we breathe out CO2. They breathe it in, and so it opens and closes those. But it also, in the process of opening and closing those, can bring, can expel water. So if that process was broken, imagine how poorly a plant would be in drought conditions if it couldn't control the opening and closing of those leaf surfaces. And so during dry conditions, it's especially important. And then we see in deficient season, potassium show up in all kinds of weird ways on the leaf surface. You'll get rings around them. A lot of bedding plant nurseries have problems with potassium if they overwater, or if you overwater a tray and it only has about this much soil in each of those little cells, like for tomato plants, when you're purchasing tomato plants. If the potassium flushes out, if you get a lot of water at one time, and then it takes a long time for the fertilizer that they've used in the soil to actually release any more potassium, you can get potassium deficiencies, and they show up in really strange almost looks like drawings on the leaf, different types of shapes of weird growth, and then it'll stunt the growth, make the growth weird, that kind of thing. So it's a very important thing to have in the proper amount in your soil. Okay, so let's see. Somebody asked me about getting a soil test done. They were going to delay the work based on my video from last week and get a soil test done on their lawn because they were originally going to use gypsum and seed and yada yada and use some compost. I don't want anybody to delay anything. You can always use compost and plant your grass seed and plant your plants and mulch and do all the things you're going to do. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that you're not adding nutrients based on some video or some rumor or something like that without a soil test. But move forward with your other projects. Go ahead and, just use compost and plant your shrubs and trees and your grass and move forward and do a soil test in the meantime. So real quickly, back to the soil test. If I'll link that down below, like I said, and if anybody gets a soil test back before I do mine up at the new house, you're welcome to send it to me or forward it to me, and I can use it on these question and answer videos and talk about what I would do based on what we see on your soil test. Somebody had asked me, I said last week, just based on conditions, whether it's a dry climate or a wet climate or cold or dry and that kind of thing, that cold or hot or whatever, that I could usually kind of say what was deficient in soils. And somebody in southeast Michigan challenged me on this, and my guess is you'd be phosphorus and potassium deficient in your area of Michigan. That doesn't mean go out and add phosphorus and potassium. You still need to do a soil test because I don't know how deficient you are. I mean, one yard could be slightly deficient and the next one be very deficient. And slightly deficient, generally, I'm not going to do anything. We'll go over that when we do soil test stuff. But if something is barely deficient, I am not going to try to micromanage and micro-correct every spot in my lawn. I'm just going to add compost and seed or plant or whatever. That's silly. But if it's majorly deficient, a large deficiency, that's the kind of things we'll try to correct. Okay, the last question here. Somebody had asked me about, they had gotten some figs that were supposed to be hardy into zone 6, and then they were questioning whether they were hardy or not. And there are hardy figs that are supposed to be hardy even into like 5B. I think that's Chicago. Hardy Chicago, I think, is supposed to be super cold hardy. I can't speak for it, so I don't know. What I do know, and I want to turn your question into something else, is that I don't fall plant marginal plants. And so in the southeast United States, fall is the best time to plant. September, October, November. We've been saying this for 30 or 40 years. It won't matter ever. We'll still do 90% of our business in the spring, and nobody knows to plant in the fall. But fall is the best time to plant, except marginal plants. And so when I had my landscape business, I would get a plan. Let's say I got a plan in August and I knew that I wasn't going to be installing this until October. I would find the 10 items that were on that landscape plan that I kind of knew were tender in their first winter. And I wouldn't plant those as part of the job because I was guaranteeing them. So I just come back in the spring and do those items. So if you think a plant is marginal in your area, don't fall plant it, spring plant it. You can still purchase it, just protect it in a garage or something like that through the winter time, if you find a good deal on something and you want it. But if it's, let's say it's hardy one zone above your zone, if you're in zone 7 and things hardy into zone 6, fall plant it, no problem. Another thing to look for when purchasing plants in the fall, because fall planting season's coming here, is deciduous plants should be going dormant. Plants that lose their leaves, they should be, if you're shopping for plants in late September and October, you should start to be seeing some coloration on the leaves. They should look like they're going dormant. Completely and totally normal. Sometimes people don't want to buy plants because, the red fall color showing up in the leaf. Oh no. One other thing is, if it's an evergreen plant, a plant that keeps its foliage, I don't want to have a lot of new growth on it. Sometimes a plant may have come out of a cold frame. It may have been pushed hard right up until it was sent to the store. And if it's covered in new growth and you're planting it in October, a couple weeks before frost, that could potentially get some damage. So, evergreen plants should look good, but not have a lot of new growth on them. Deciduous plants should be going dormant like deciduous plants do. It's completely normal. And, get them in the ground in the fall. But like I say, if you think for whatever reason that it's a plant that, that you could lose in your winter, hold on to it until spring and plant it then. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to make a comment down below for a chance to win the Corona Pruners, and then go over to, like I say, go over to Instagram and throw your name in the hat for a second chance to win the Corona Pruners. Thanks for watching.